Shadow Impulse got announced today, and the card is fun. I gotta admit, bringing out Beelzebub, bringing out Void Ogre Dragon, all these cards that you could never see in scraps, and maintaining advantage. Like they kill your Scrap Dragon, you bring back a Goblin or a Golem. They have the Fire Fist Bear to pop it. But what's that? Shadow Impulse, Stardust Dragon, no popping, maintain advantage. Crimson Blader, run over those Mermills, maintain advantage. Like, there's so many answers to it, and it's just such a good card in that respect. However, I don't think it's the way to go competitively, and there's a couple reasons for that. First of all, the card is redundant. Scrap Dragon already brings out cards. It already gets the Golem, it already gets the Goblin, it already recycles plays. So there's no need to further do that. Like, we're already consistent at doing that. What we're not consistent at is setting up those plays. It's hard for us to get the Scrap Dragon in the first place. Sure, Factory makes it a lot easier, but it doesn't guarantee it. That's assuming we even draw Factory. And not to mention the fact that it's hard to set up boss monsters because you need that level 4 engine to even sync with. So it's not as good as it seems because it does something the deck already does, but doesn't help what the deck is lacking. A good deck has various strengths and is able to cover its weaknesses with its strengths, not improve its strengths so that when you're in a winning position you can win better. Like, that's not what the deck needs. That's why cards like Level Eater, Dark Coffin have fallen out of favor over the years, because while they're really cool while you have Scrap Dragon on the board, they're almost completely useless if you don't, and they don't garner you that much of a winning position. Like, they don't guarantee you a win if you get Scrap Dragon and a Level Eater on board. It just helps you win a little bit better. And I think that's exactly what Shadow Impulse does. Sure, if they finally get rid of your Scrap Dragon, then you might be able to make a comeback with that Level 8 Synchro. However, the thing is, if they're getting rid of it through destruction, you're probably not in that bad of a position, especially with the release of Scrap Factory. If they're getting rid of it through Compulse, Dimensional Prison, then you can't activate Shadow Impulse, and you're still in the same bad position. That's why cards like Lance are much better options, because they help you stop that bad card from happening. Also, the card will be dead. Honestly, a lot of players are going to fall into this fallacy where they're going to do some awesome play. Scrap Dragon's going to die, and they're going to bring out Void Ogre Dragon and negate the opponent's entire hand for like 5 turns and win because of it. Or they're going to bring out a Crimson Blader, run over Mermills every turn, and then beat the top deck and be like, oh, it's OP, this card won me games. Or they're going to bring out Beelzebub, and the opponent's going to take like 20 turns to try to get rid of it and just end up dying to it. So people are going to take those like rare examples where the card wins games, which it will, and use them to justify the card in its entirety. And they're going to completely ignore all the times the card is dead, the card is not helpful, the card will be live because you have a Scrap Dragon on the field, but you don't need it. Or another card would have been more useful. And lastly, the times they use the card as Scrap Dragon fodder. Like, those, count up the number of times that happens and compare them to the number of times the card wins you game, and I guarantee you it's not gonna be a comparison. And that's the real problem. It'll get you some really flashy wins, but it won't get you them consistently. And I'd rather drop that card for cards that consistently get you to your win condition. And I think that's the real thing, is that we're going to need cards that get us to Scrap Dragon ASAP and get us there in an effective manner. That's why Scrap Factory is good. That's why running more tuners is good. That's why we run 3 Beasts. Like, Beast is an awful card. I'm the first to admit it. It's the worst. But you run them because you need them for Chimera and because you want to do it as fast as possible. And because, honestly, it's our best option. Like, Orthros is an even worse card. It's only justifiable at 1 now because of Factory. Like, nobody played Orthros prior to Factory. It got hyped up and then destroyed. So, really, that's the problem with Scraps. We need cards to help us get there faster. That's why cards like Fire and Ice Hand are better. That's why cards like even the Dragon Stars have a lot of promise. If we get another level 4 Dragon Star, the fact that they recruit for each other upon destruction makes them just as good as Fire and Ice Hand. Even better to a degree, because although they don't pop an opponent's monster or spell, they're more consistent because they don't rely on your opponent having a monster or spell for their recruiting. But you all know Fire and Ice Hand. If you don't have if they dark hole your Fire Hand and they don't have a monster to be popped, you don't get to recruit for Ice Hand, and that's one of the problems with that card. But Dragon Stars do, and Dragon Stars even give a little bonus effects to your Synchro monsters. I'm really bummed that Dragon Stars didn't come out with more effects, more level 4s. I mean, more and better effects. Yeah, can you imagine a Scrap Dragon that was immune to traps or spells? Like that would be awesome. But yeah, unfortunately, level 4 just gives it a 500 boost, which pretty much means nothing to Scrap Dragon. So yeah, that's my main problem with Shadow Impulse. It's not going to be the way to go. It's redundant and it doesn't do what the deck needs from it. The space is much better utilized by other cards. And that's my suggestions. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll keep you updating you as new Dragons of Legend cards come out and until Primal Origins finally hits. Once I get my scrap factories, I'll show you guys a real in-life deck profile. And yeah, see you guys then. Bye.